What's going on, people? Yes, welcome back to FPL of the Day, my brand new YouTube channel. I am Jay London, and we have done it. We have reached 200 subscribers. Yes, thank you so much. Those of you who are new to the page and have subscribed. If that is you, then please do leave a little comment below and do like this video and let me know so I can shout you out in the next video as well. For those of you that didn't see the last video, you might want to check out the free hit one at some point, especially if you are thinking about using a free hit, or even if you're not, it will help you with transfers. But this video right here is all about the game week 22 team selection. I'm going to go through the team, how it's looking, some of the players that I'm thinking about, transfers, all of that stuff, potential captains. Let's get straight into it. The game week 22 team selection video. Boof. So as I say, before we begin, there's quite a lot to consider. Trent might have COVID. Son has been injured. Maddison's a little bit of a doubt because those Leicester fixtures look a little bit dodgy. And things are just chopping and changing all the time. Plus, we have the Dennis situation. Is he going to be fit? Is he going to be getting as many minutes as he has been in previous games? We just don't know. So make sure you're leaving your transfers as late as possible. I'm not going to do it until maybe like 10 minutes before the deadline. And I will be keeping you up to date with the transfers and the press conferences and things like that on FPL of the Day on Twitter. Just a quick shout out to everybody who has made me feel really, really welcome on Twitter. Really loving the community at the moment, and big up to you guys if you've been getting involved. Also, make sure you're checking out the last video that I did. It was all about the free hit. Even if you're not using your free hit for game week 22, it's going to help you with transfers. Trust me, if it's good enough for FPL Focal, who is number 5, ranked 5 in the world, then it's good enough for us, right? Right, let's dive straight into it. The game week 22 team selection. Here's what it's looking like as it stands. All right, so starting with our goalkeeper, David De Gea. Brought him in a little while ago thinking, all right, cool. Man United are not playing that great at the moment, but if there's one thing we do know is that Dave makes saves. So there is a strong possibility that he's going to be getting some save points. Add a clean sheet to that as well, which is very rare. And then we're laughing, right? He's playing Aston Villa and Brentford next. So it would just be silly to bring in another goalkeeper. To be honest, some of the fixtures for the double game week teams aren't the best anyway. Like, you could bring in Kepa from Chelsea because obviously Mendy's at AFCON now. You could bring in Sanchez, which if I had a choice, he would probably be my keeper of choice. But Dave stays, all right? He's our goalkeeper. First person in defence is going to be Alexander-Arnold. So obviously there's some COVID rumours here. He missed out in the FA Cup because he was apparently sick with COVID. So we're going to have to wait and see. Wait for some of the press conferences and see just how true that is. But playing against Brentford, he has to be there. If he's in your team, you have to start him. And then, yeah, just make sure that you've got a defender on the bench that can come in and cover that. But if there is a possibility that Trent's going to be starting and Trent's going to be playing that game against Brentford, I want him in my team. So, yeah, he's 100% going to be in the starting lineup. Moving on to Cancelo. Similar story here. Another fullback that's just been killing it this season. So he goes absolutely nowhere. The fixture doesn't look as appealing as Trent's, obviously, because he's playing Chelsea. But we all know that Man City can do anything to anyone at any given time, and there's no reason to suggest that Cancelo won't be involved in any goals when Man City do inevitably score against Chelsea. It's going to happen, right? It's going to happen. So yeah, Cancelo definitely in the team. I'd be annoyed if I left him out and I left him on the bench and I put in a double game week defender and then I missed out on the Cancelo points. I'd rather risk it and play the strong fullbacks, okay? And speaking of strong fullbacks, Alonso makes the cut. Man City, Brighton as well. If anything, I can see a 0-0 with Brighton and Chelsea. So, yeah, hopefully Alonso can get some points there. It's not the ideal situation with Chelsea playing City. Obviously, because, yeah, we've just said that Cancelo's going to score goals and then we've got Alonso in defence. But I am a believer in just starting your strongest players and then just hoping for the best. Like, I'm not going to leave Alonso out just because they're playing Man City when he's my best defender, when there's more chance of Alonso picking up more points against City and Brighton than there is with White picking up points against Tottenham. If you haven't noticed, the bench is there already. White, Son and Locadia, which we'll come to in a bit because there is a strong possibility that 2 of those guys are going to be going. But yeah, let's carry on with the team selection for now. Tariq Lamptey completes the defence here. Another double game week playing defender who I brought in a little while back to free up some funds. I took out James and put in Lamptey. And I'm a little bit disappointed because last game, I don't know if you would have noticed, because if I didn't own Lamptey, maybe I wouldn't have paid much attention to this. But yeah, he missed pretty much the whole game, and then he came on for a 1-pointer, which was annoying because Alonso was my first defender on the bench. So had Lamptey not have played, I would have got those Alonso points. But let's not focus on that now. What I am focusing on though is, will Lamptey start? Will Lamptey start against Crystal Palace and Chelsea? If he does, I'm happy to play him because, yeah, that's at least 4 points there. As I say, I've got a feeling that Chelsea and Brighton could be a 0-0 draw. So, yeah, it would be great to be getting some of those Lamptey points. He is on the chopping block because, yeah, if he's not starting, I could easily swap him out and put in like a Tottenham defender who is pretty much guaranteed going to play. Someone like Emerson Royale or maybe even Davis or Reguilon, who I'm still not 100% cemented on at the moment. So yeah, if I was taking that Lamptey, it probably wouldn't be for him. But as it stands, those are going to be the 4 defenders starting game week 22. Moving on to midfield, Bowen's in there. Just brought him in recently. Nice fixture against Leeds. He's not a double game week player, but the way that West Ham's playing at the moment and the ownership that Bowen has at the moment as well would just mean it's just a little bit silly to not play him. So yeah, 100% Bowen makes the team, as does De Bruyne for a very similar reason. He's almost 12 mil. Brought him in quite recently. He's starting pretty much every game now for Man City, now that he's fit and now that he's firing and now that he's finding his form back. So yeah, again, against Chelsea, if Man City are going to score, which they probably will, I'm pretty sure that De Bruyne could well be involved in that, and I don't want to be missing out on those points. I would, of course, love to be putting in a double game week player. And if I was doing a free hit, then De Bruyne, again, probably wouldn't be in the team. If you haven't seen my free hit video, a reminder, that is available now to watch. Go and check that out. But De Bruyne didn't make it. But yeah, he is in my team, so it would be silly to leave him out. He starts. He's playing Chelsea. He's in the midfield. Diogo Jota. Yeah, if I was free hitting, Jota would still be there. He's playing Brentford. He's going to be the main attacker for Liverpool. So 100%. Jota is in the team. Firmino's probably going to come back. Origi might come in. You might get Oxlade-Chamberlain playing as well. Jota's going to be the main man, I hope. Hat-trick, please, against Brentford. He might even be vice-captain. We'll come on to that in just a bit. But yeah, he's in the team. So Rafinha's been a player that I've held on to since pretty much the beginning. I took him out and put him back in, and he's been up and down for me. He's been getting points, and when he does get points, everyone seems to notice him and has a little bit of FOMO. But then if you are a Rafinha owner, then you might have noticed that he is a little bit frustrating because there are the few games that he doesn't get anything. Like last week, for example, like Leeds scored 3 goals and Rafinha wasn't involved in any of them. But saying that, there is a strong chance that I might rest him for next game week. I'm going to get a little bit of a benching headache, but it might be Rafinha that makes way depending on the transfers and what I decide to do. But for the time being, we're going to keep him there. He's playing West Ham. It's a nice fixture. That's probably going to be end-to-end stuff. He's in the team. And then up front, we have the king himself playing Newcastle and Burnley, arguably the best 2 fixtures for double game week 22. Yes, Watford love to attack. They don't really care about conceding goals. King's already in the team, and he looks like the person who's going to be first choice in that lineup. We all know what happened to Dennis in the last game. He came off pretty much at half time. There is still some rumours at the time of recording that he might not be playing, but yeah, keep an eye on the FPL of the day Twitter, and I'll let you know as soon as those press conferences happen, and then we'll know what's happening with Dennis. But yeah, King is 150% going to be in the team. He starts if I was free hitting, wild carding, or doing any of the above or below. King's going to be in the team. I might even captain him, but we'll talk about captaincy a little bit later, or maybe we'll just do it on Twitter when it gets closer to the deadline. And next to him is Mikel Antonio. Now, he's starting to find a little bit of form. Definitely can get some goals. I'd be lying if I'd say that I don't want a double game week player. And if I did have a double game week player, I 100% would be playing him over Antonio. So if that is you, then I strongly advise that. Yeah, there is a Dennis, there is a Chris Wood, don't laugh. There's Tony, there's Lukaku, who I can't actually stretch to at the moment unless I sell Son. But Antonio, I don't really see any reason to sell him, and I want to keep him for the next fixture as well. So Antonio stays in the team. He's finding some form. He's going to be in the starting lineup. So looking at this team, it doesn't look too bad as long as everybody plays. If Lamptey was 100% cemented and he was nailed, then I'd be very confident with that. We know Alonso's going to play both. We're still keeping an eye on Alexander-Arnold. So there could be an argument made that I don't need to make any transfers. But obviously, I'm going to be making transfers. Yeah, it's a double game week. I get excited by the double game weeks. I want as many double game week players as possible. At the moment, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, depending on whether or not Lamptey plays. But we could bring in 2 more. we could bring in 2 more. So at the moment, my possible transfers that I'm thinking about is this. Ricardia comes out, Dennis goes in, Son comes out, Maddison goes in. Now, looking at this team, I'm a lot more excited about this. It looks a lot more appealing for the double game week. I'm not as stressed out about not doing the free hit. The ones that aren't double game week players are De Bruyne, Cancelo, Jota, and Trent Alexander-Arnold, who is on the bench. But, like I was saying with Lamptey before, it could be a thing where Trent starts. So yeah, I would probably play Trent, leave Lamptey as first sub, and then see what happens there if Trent doesn't play. And if Trent does play, I reckon there's a good chance that he may outscore Lamptey with the single game week. I hope you're following me here. The only problem with Maddison is, I've been having a lot of interaction with you guys on the FPL of the Day Twitter. Shout out to FPL Arrows, who made a very, very good point that the COVID situation at Leicester might not even be a COVID situation. Like, Leicester are missing players through injury, AFCON and COVID. If that continues and that persists, then there is a strong chance that Leicester could be missing the next game week anyway. So do I really want to do that risk with Maddison? So I could be doing something like FPL Mersey's going to be doing and putting in Lucas Moura, who is 100% going to be playing. Son's out. They've got some games to be rearranged as well. And yeah, Moura's on form. So yeah, it is very tempting to put in Lucas instead of Maddison, but I kind of feel I'm swaying more towards Maddison. Another person who you could take a punt on is Harvey Barnes. There's obviously Lookman in there as well that you could look at. But overall, looking at this team, it would obviously cost me a -4. And I'm quite happy with it. I don't mind it at all because, yeah, Rafinha is going to be a benching headache. Trent Alexander-Arnold, as I say, will probably play in place of Lamptey. And then if Trent doesn't start, then Lamptey will come in for those double games. But let me know what you're saying. Do you feel like I'm making a mistake? Do you feel like I'm wasting a transfer here, doing a -4? Do you feel like I don't need to do a hit? Are you doing something similar? Are you going to risk it without Dennis and King? Are you going to go for King over Dennis? Like, there's so many things to consider this game week. So yeah, make sure you're leaving a comment down below and let me know exactly what you're doing, right? So that's it. That is now the benching headache and the team selection for game week 22. I haven't made my transfers yet, so please do keep an eye on the FPL of the Day Twitter page. And as always, and like I said at the start of the video, if you are new to this channel and you're just discovering this content, then please do subscribe. Yeah, I need all the help that I can get. It's still a new YouTube channel. It's starting to pick up a little bit. So thank you so much for all of those who have recently subscribed. We've just made it to 200 subscribers. Big up to everybody getting involved on Twitter. Please, let's continue the conversation there. The FPL community is amazing. Shout out to you. You know who you are. And I'll see you on the next one. All right. Good luck.